and welcome to Canon City Comic Club, a weekly examination of the most memorable storylines in comic books. I'm your host, Tristan Cooper, and this is my last episode before my copyright reverts to Disney. Also with me today, Andrew Bridgman.
Hey guys, I'm going to sing the entirety of the X-Men animated show theme song right now, so get ready.
Also with us, Carolyn Page.
Oh. Hey, hello. X-Men, what a great time.
What a great time for X-Men.
What a time to be an X-Man.
They're the coolest.
They're always having a great time. They're everyone loves them.
They're the best of friends.
All their team members get along all the time.
They don't all die all of a sudden
Nope.
due to editorial changes
all
that happen.
the time.
Yeah.
And Professor X can always walk or not walk.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
news to me.
You can always do one of those things.
You can always do one of those things.
The Dark Phoenix Saga is the reason for the season right now. We've got that film out there.
That everyone can't wait for.
Everyone is very excited about this film that will change Marvel films forever, that will definitely have a lasting effect on the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it exists.
Run, don't walk to this movie set in the 1990s.
And the buzz is very positive.
Yeah.
So positive. I'm positive about what I have heard about the buzz.
It's like a bee.
It's like a bee.
That's what they say.
It's like a bee, and I am actually allergic, so that kind of actually lines up with what I've actually heard about the movie. But.
Yeah, I mean, the Dark Phoenix Saga is a really interesting thing in that it is kind of like the most seminal X-Men work, kind of. It's like the one everyone thinks of when they think of the big X-Men story.
Yeah.
And they keep tanking the X-Men franchises just to do Dark Phoenix. It always ends it. It ended the original run of X-Men movies. It's going to end this one. That's incredible.
Much like the Dark Phoenix, it's a super destructive force.
That shall rise again.
That doesn't rise
and will never die. And has killed trillions.
What is it about this story, do you think, that people keep coming back to and saying, like, well, we have to do this? What is it about this story?
Because there's nothing else anyone knows about Jean Grey. And she's like a main member of the team. They're like, well, we have Jean Grey. What's her big story? Oh, it's turning into a fire bird entity and going crazy. And that's what everyone always comes back to, because the comics always come back to it too.
That is fair. That is the more or less the basis of the story, but once you get into the actual comic itself, there's a lot more going on. There's like new characters introduced every page.
Yeah.
It is mostly about more villains, Revolutionary War cosplay.
And
yikes.
There are some moments we'll get into. I do want to provide a little bit of context leading up to this specific moment in the comics, the Dark Phoenix Saga by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. So we'll do a little bit of a continuity catch-up real quick here. We don't need to introduce the X-Men to people. It started...
you got Batman, you got the Avengers.
Beast
Boy.
It started... when it started, the X-Men was like not really a big deal. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby didn't really know what to do with it.
They abandoned it for years.
For years and years. So it wasn't until... arguably like giant size X-Men #1... that it really the team that you recognize like came to be, and by the time that
you mean no one knows who Polaris is?
Okay, well maybe not. It's not until issue 101 is when Phoenix first comes into play. Phoenix is like Jean Grey and X-Men are having a little space adventure, and a cosmic force basically possesses Jean, more or less. Long story short. And so, like, for a couple of years, she just kind of, like, has that, like, going on.
And she's just, like, extra powerful. She has a cool new costume. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have to be called Marvel Girl anymore.
Such a cool costume.
I know, it's really good. And it has the sash.
Yeah,
I love it when they have sashes.
A sash is far superior to a cape, I would think.
Mm-hmm. It's got more flair. It doesn't get in the way as much.
Yeah, and you could take it off and choke somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Or use it as a blindfold. If you happen to be dating a guy who can never open his eyes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just in case. I don't see any scenario in the X-Men and that.
A ruby
where that would
quartz
come and help.
sash.
Yeah, that's very nice. And then that's more or less all you need to know. It's very helpful that for this story, it is, we've got Cyclops, we've got Storm, We've got Colossus, Nightcrawler,
Mhm.
Wolverine.
Mhm.
This is the classic lineup. So we don't need much more introduction before we get into the book breakdown, which sort of starts with, our story basically begins with some scheming by Mastermind, who is like this really gaunt, who is in reality this really gaunt looking, kind of like strung out, like very.
He's like a Steve Buscemi type.
He's a Steve Buscemi type who instead makes himself look like Clark Kent with mutton chops.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he is currently brainwashing Jean into thinking that she is like slipping backwards in time and becoming like a past self, living through a past life.
Ancestor.
An
Lady
ancestor.
Jean Grey.
Lady, yeah, same name.
Yeah.
And she's like using her psychic powers and thinking like, oh, everything, this checks out. This seems real.
Yeah.
So I'm good to go.
Yeah. It feels very real to her. It's very much like The Last Jedi, where she just keeps like having this weird psychic connection. She doesn't understand it. And then she kills Emperor Snoke.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Kylo Ren who kills Emperor Snoke.
I don't I don't see movies, so I don't know.
Carolyn, you told me before the show that you had read this before.
Yes, I read this. I biked to the library to check this book out when I was but a young lad in Greeley, Colorado. Shout out to the library. And yeah, I would bike to the library and check out an X-Men book, and then I'd go home and read it, and then I'd come back the next day. I was basically a Disney princess. It's NBD. But I fucking loved this story. Like, it's so cool. The X-Men were so cool. Rereading it now as an adult.
Yeah.
I did notice that it's, like many comics, very sexist.
Sure.
And especially in the beginning, when it's just like, I just felt the vibe was like, shut up, woman, a little bit.
Sure.
And then even when like Jean Grey's going back in time, she's just like, oh, I love this guy, so I guess that's good enough for me. Like the just that conceit that you'll like betray everything for love. But anyways, it's still a great arc. I love it. It's classic X-Men. We're in space. Wolverine's like being scrappy.
Yeah.
And like has a huge boner for Jean Grey, which I've always loved that dynamic.
Sure.
Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde is in this book. She makes her debut in the first issue of this arc.
And she's drawn awesomely. She looks so cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize like she came into the picture at the exact same time as like the Dark Phoenix saga was kicking off. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like the thing is like everyone remembers about Dark Phoenix is it's all Jean Grey, Cyclops, cosmic stuff
Dazzler,
going on.
the Revolutionary War.
Dazzler.
That's the thing. We'll get to Dazzler, but for Kitty Pryde is such a big deal. But like she's not on any covers, like in this storyline. She's just like
she doesn't have a cool costume or anything. She's just like a kid.
She doesn't have a code name. She basically figures out that she can like go through walls. I think she's in her room and she finds herself like on the couch, like on the floor below her.
Yeah. And
then the X-Men are like, "Hey, we're gonna come take care of your child. All right? Can we just kind of?" And the parents are like, that's
you
all
can
right.
take her to the mall. This group of weird strangers.
Yes, sure.
They're not questioning like why there's suddenly two representatives from elite private schools just showing up to their house.
They
They're
love
like, we
their
want your
little
daughter.
kitty. They're proud of her. It's only the best for the little kitty.
I guess, but they don't know these people.
That's
Were
a
they
good
contacted
point.
ahead of time?
I don't know. That seemed to happen very quickly.
It happened real fast.
But also
yeah.
two psychics, so like
Sure.
Emma Frost.
I was
probably.
very
also
disappointed.
the
Emma Frost.
introduction.
Oh, sorry.
Was this her introduction, Emma Frost, or had she been introduced before?
I think this was Emma Frost's introduction also.
I think so. Yeah, because she's part of the Hellfire Club, and the Hellfire Club are introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong, but I think everyone in the book also seems to like meet her for the first time.
Yeah.
So.
I love Emma Frost.
Mhm.
She's freaking cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She can
I'm more of a January Jones fan myself,
Ugh.
but
January.
Guys, I have
aka
good news for
Terrible
both of
Jones.
you. There's a movie
What?
where they are the same person.
wow.
I'm sure it's
that sounds like
a great movie.
the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I love it. The one problem I had with Emma Frost was that she did not wear her classic costume when she was going to the parents' house. I was like, it would have been great if she come to my school when she's like wearing this weird corset and like just underwear.
This was actually a very conservative version of Emma Frost's costume.
Yes, compared to where it would go later.
Because she's only showing the top strips of her thighs and like her décolletage instead of just like boob hole, belly hole.
Sure.
Like,
well, you gotta have somewhere to go. You know.
Sure.
You can't
start at 10.
Yeah.
You gotta work your way up there.
You gotta start at mostly bodysuit and then just like take strips off from there.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're kind of skipping over that part. Like the Kitty Pryde is like taken to the mall by the X-Men. They have a chat, and then the Hellfire Club comes in.
The X-Men have discovered 2 mutants in different parts of the countries, and we got to go get these 2 mutants.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also, a different mutant has also hacked into like Cerebro. That's not shown here. It's like from a previous issue. It's like Warhawk or something. I don't know.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and so like the Hellfire Club, this elite club that is like,
and also like a kink club.
Well, yeah, it's like a normal like rich guy club, but inside the club there's a secret smaller club where everyone dresses like old timiness and has weird sex with each other. Probably.
Sure, checks out.
It's a bunch of old dudes, and they're all based on like actors from the time. Like it's Orson Welles. It's like it's not young Orson Welles. It's old like frozen peas ass.
Frozen
hot.
peas, champagne.
Champagne Orson Welles. Hot Orson Welles.
Yeah.
He's got and then there's someone based on Donald Sutherland is there as well. There's Donald Pierce, I think, in the comic. There's Sebastian Shaw.
Who's Sebastian Shaw based on?
Robert Shaw.
Oh, all right.
So
I don't know
there you
these
go.
people.
Same.
Like, is he like the Channing Tatum of his day, would you say?
Yes.
That's okay. Now I
think so.
Okay.
But as opposed to Orson Welles, who's more of the Jonah Hill, I think, of the time.
Okay. All right. That works.
Okay.
Anyway, they're all based on this one episode of the Avengers, not the Marvel Avengers, but the Uma Thurman Avengers.
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes Avengers, which is like these old serial spy television series, and it was just like this one episode with, I think, a club called the Hellfire Club.
Ooh.
Oh.
I went on my first date to the Avengers movie in the 90s, and I spilled popcorn butter all over my And One shorts. Did not go well. Like right at the beginning.
That's good.
It was not great.
So it didn't end well, you're saying?
No, but the movie was obviously fantastic. So
that made up for it at least. At least you got to say you saw the Avengers.
I saw the
movie
Avengers
in the theater.
Sean Connery has a weather machine.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
There's evil teddy bears.
There's evil teddy bears. There's like they walk in bubbles at some point.
Yeah. That all sounds right.
I gotta go watch this movie. Can we pause shooting?
No.
Let's pause shooting.
So I can watch
I want to impress upon if you take away anything today, do not watch the 1990s Avengers movie.
Yeah, unless you're wearing And One shorts and you spill popcorn on it.
Yeah, and that's
one thing I wanted to say about Kitty Pryde before we move on to the Avengers too much is I do really like the way that they introduced like getting your mutant powers is like getting your period. She's just like, man, I've got a headache and I'm so tired.
Yeah, I like that they tie it in with puberty. It's like just kind of a fun metaphor.
They kind of they do that with the movies as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a coming of age thing. It's the same thing with like Harry Potter even.
Oh man, it's so what a fucking letdown feeling when you're just like, oh, I'm just a regular teenager and why am I so angry all the time? So every teenager kind of turns into Hulk a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that's it. Or like sad Hulk.
Yeah. My mutant power was a lot of acne. So.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So that was also good for me.
No, I didn't have one.
You didn't have
a normie.
Did you ever hit puberty? Is that what you're saying? You never hit it?
No, obviously, as you can tell.
You have way more facial hair than I have.
He was born with that beard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't picture Tristan without the beard.
Don't do it.
I have no idea what you look like.
I'm a baby. I'm a baby boy.
You're boss
beard. I'm the boss baby without this beard.
Okay.
Now that's a great movie.
We haven't even gotten to like Phoenix like at all, pretty much, because like I think Cyclops and Jean Grey are in another part of the country. Like
they're in New York. They're trying to go into a rundown discotheque.
Oh, that wasn't in Chicago as well?
No.
That was in New York?
Also, Kitty Pryde's thing wasn't in Chicago. It was in the suburbs of Chicago. I'm going to save it for the end, but...
We'll circle
very
back.
Excited.
There's a very important thing about Chicago.
It's not important.
It's very important.
It's not important. What's important is Dazzler, everyone's favorite X-person.
Yeah.
Yep. She makes a big splash. Like she's got the cover of the second issue in the arc. It's like a huge deal.
They were really betting hard on Dazzler. It was 1979, and they're like, disco's gonna live forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it did.
It did.
It did.
They were right.
I think they almost called her something like the Disco Queen or something like that.
Really? It
Would
have ruined all the little wordplay things they do about. And she dazzled them.
Yeah. I think she was
clever.
She was based
clever
on
wordplay.
Smart, Chris. Clever.
Yeah. I don't know if you know anything about the creation of Dazzler, but apparently she was like going to be attempted to be like a multimedia star sensation. Where she was going to have an album, a movie, like an animated series. Like she was supposed to be in a movie starring Bo Derek. And that's why her character is like supposedly, I guess, based on Bo Derek's looks a little bit.
Did they talk to Bo Derek first?
They talked to Bo Derek, and then she was like, "Hey, let my husband direct the movie Dazzler." And they're like, "Absolutely not." And she's like, "Okay, I'm out." And so they never made it like almost any of that stuff.
Her husband was Francis Ford Coppola. Like, not that guy. No way.
I want a Dazzler movie starring Cynthia Erivo.
Who's that?
She's an amazing Broadway star. And is getting more into like film work and stuff, but she's just like an incredible singer. Mm-hmm. She was in The Color Purple, and I saw her as the lead in that. And it's just like that's what I want. Internet, make it
Kevin
make
Feige.
it so.
Let's do it.
It is like in the book they like are setting her up as well. She's like, "You're very powerful."
Yeah.
And like you're also very cool.
Yeah.
Dazzler is the best.
Everyone's so impressed by you, Dazzler.
You're hot. What a sweet jumpsuit you have.
Yeah.
He does a pretty cool jumpsuit.
I like how Jean Grey and Cyclops going into the club, they're like, "It smells in here. Like, it's nasty." I'm like, "You guys are fucking lame." The club, of course the club smells nasty. And they you can tell
nerds
that it's
from Westchester.
Yeah. You can tell that it's like a bad club because there's people with like cartilage piercings.
Yeah.
They're like, "This is rough in here."
Yeah. Well, at the club also is where Mastermind shows up and does a little like Mastermind magic, and it's just like smooches.
He just makes out with Jean,
so
and
weird.
Scott's like, "Whoa!" And then like it stops, and he like doesn't really bring it up. He's
Scott
like,
goes
that
full
was weird.
cuck.
He got cucked hard.
Scott gets cucked so hard
Cyclops
and
gets
doesn't
cucked hard
say
this whole
anything.
thing.
Which I guess it's like your superheroes, like your stakes are different. You know,
Sure.
a kiss.
It was the
isn't-
70s.
It was the 70s. Everyone was
No,
on
sure.
cocaine or whatever.
Yeah. We didn't know cocaine was bad yet, so
Yeah.
It's
Things
cocaine is
happen.
bad.
well, we'll talk later.
He's sort
Okay.
of like in this like anime way. Like this is how I read old comics now because they have like lots of thought bubbles that explain
There's
exactly what's
so
happening.
many thought bubbles.
And it's very much like anime where like they pause and they just kind of zoom in on the character and they explain everyone's
Yes.
motivations and exactly what's
Yeah.
happening. And then they continue on. It's almost like she wasn't like really herself. All right. And then they just kind of like move on
like
and forget
without
about
communicating with her at all. It'd be like, "Hey, was that you? Were you slipping through time there?" Like he has a conversation in his own head.
Yeah. His whole thought throughout he's like so worried about Jean throughout all this story, but doesn't really say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he tries maybe when they're banging on the buttes, but
Yeah. They have the psychic rapport. Or no,
They
they don't get
do-
it until the
till
Arizona.
later on. Yeah, until Arizona iced tea.
Well, eventually, pretty much everyone gets captured
Yeah,
by
there's robots
Emma Frost
or
and the
Men
there's
in robot suits.
There's men in robot suits that kind of look like Hulkbuster / Juggernaut outfits a little bit.
Yeah.
That are specifically tailored to take out each one of the
One.
X-Men.
Like,
But
Really
what
gotta
could
hope-
happen in a battle? Could they ever switch opponents?
Maybe.
Maybe.
yeah.
But everyone's taken out but Wolverine, basically, and he's like kind of like in the sewers, classic Wolverine, taking folks out one by one.
Getting a little ahead of yourself, I think.
Am I?
Yeah.
I
That's
think-
the
yeah,
Hellfire
that's
Club.
in the Hellfire.
That's in the
They
Hell-
get captured
Everyone's captured but Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, and
Kitty
then
Pryde goes and she gets help from Scott and the Phoenix, and Phoenix like Phoenix is out.
Phoenix is out. She phoenixes Emma Frost, and then they're fine.
Yeah, and she like smashes the car, and Scott's like, "Oh, you went too far by smashing that car."
And then they also return Kitty Pryde to her parents, and she just kind of like mind wipes them, and she convinces them to like accept Kitty Pryde and like forget some of the stuff that they.
Yeah, because they're mad that their daughter got kidnapped, and no one talked to them for a few days.
And everyone's like, and Jean Grey just basically just like Men in Blacks them a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, what?
You mess with their minds. That's not cool. Although, like, it would have been this whole thing to explain it to them.
Yeah.
So she was saving us all.
Sometimes for the greater good, you have to lie to people.
It would be so nice if people would like mind wipe me every now and then.
Yeah.
Like maybe they have been, and that's great, and they should do it more.
It's right after the mind wipe is when Storm figures out exactly what is happening. It's like someone is manipulating her so she becomes more powerful, and they're going to use her as a tool.
They're turning her towards the dark side, which she enjoys. Maybe.
Well, sure. A little. We all have a little dark phoenix in us, you know.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, should I push this old lady? Yeah, I'll do it. Or something. I don't know.
Just hypothetically.
What?
I'm pushing old ladies into traffic all the time.
I'm just saying, walk faster. It's Midtown. Go.
Exactly.
We're
coming for you, old women.
Again, very hypothetical.
Sure.
It's fine.
I like how Storm and Jean. It was so funny to me and entertaining how they were like have these really loving. They're like, I love you so much. I love you like a sister. And then I was just like, kiss already.
And
they never did.
Jean Grey also kisses, or she's kissed by Angel.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
They go hang out with Angel, who's like just living in a mansion in Arizona by himself.
Yeah,
and he just like smooches her, and Scott's like, "Whoa,
cucked again, Scott."
Yeah,
that is bizarre, and it is like treated like nothing. She's like, oh, they're like full on like mouth to mouth kissing, and she's like, oh, Scott might get jealous.
It's like a gag, kind of almost.
What? Why? and then Angel's girlfriend, whose name is Southern Candy, Candy Southern,
Candy Southern, please. Classier than Southern
Candy is her dancer name.
Oh, sure.
Candy Southern is a great name.
I mean, yes. Objectively.
Great.
It is also like a James Bond name.
Like Dr. Goodhead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like James Bond like
Moonraker.
If James Bond went to like
Also
Arkansas, he would meet someone named like Southern Candy or something like that.
Yeah. So anyways, we should probably move this forward. We haven't gotten to the Dark Phoenix yet, so we should probably.
Yeah, the Dark Phoenix has been like coming out like here and there because of we've seen like flashes like the car thing, the mind wipe, and everything like that.
Yeah.
Eventually, what pushes her over the edge is before that she gets her full transformation to the Black Queen.
Yeah.
Which is
she gets seduced by the Hellfire Club.
So now they're in the Hellfire Club at the party.
Yes, now they're at that.
Yeah. 5 blocks down from Avengers Mansion. They keep mentioning that.
That's
like, the Avengers should be helping out more.
That's what sort of like really gets me is that Jean Grey is so powerful. The Phoenix is unbelievably powerful, as we know, and she's just kind of like tricked by this like ding dong
by Mastermind.
But he's been pumped up by Emma Frost.
He's been given like a device on his chest that can like put his illusions in people's minds. So
he's been made psychic, essentially.
I guess, but like he's still like a bit player. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But he's the mastermind, Tristan. You're forgetting that he's the mastermind.
I get that Jean Grey, I guess, as a human or a person could be like tricked by him. But I think like the cosmic entity of the Phoenix would be like, this is bullshit, man.
No, I think the Phoenix is looking for a way to do some mischief.
Sure.
That's true.
You know
That's true.
So it's going along
looking
with
for
this.
a way
Also, she's probably like, well, Scott Summers is a huge, weird, lame wad cuck. And the Hellfire Club are full of weird sex weirdos, and that's cool. That's better than Scott Summers. So
yeah,
sure.
I'll do that.
That's fair.
I get to wear this weird corset. That's cool.
Yep.
I get to hang out with powerful people in a big fancy mansion.
Yeah. Everyone gets This is the part where everyone gets
This is where everyone gets captured.
And Wolverine
everyone gets captured in every...
Yeah.
They get captured a lot. And also Xavier this whole time is like, has just come back from something, whatever. And He doesn't help at all.
Nope.
And he just spends the entire book being like, as the most powerful mutant ever, being like, I'm really worried about that team.
Xavier's not the most powerful mutant ever.
With Cerebro.
He's not even an Omega level mutant.
But with Cerebro, he can control anyone's mind, right? That's pretty good.
I thought he could just find them.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like a Where's Waldo thing, not a...
In the X-Men movie, he could. Remember when he made Sabretooth?
Don't you talk about those films to me, boy.
Patrick Stewart, though. He's good.
Yeah.
We like Patrick Stewart.
I like Jean-Luc Picard.
That's good. It's like that, but he can't walk and he can control a wrestler's mind.
Make it so.
Okay.
What's wild is that like almost like to the Dark Phoenix story at large, none of this matters. None of this like
no,
this is all
it really doesn't.
Finding an excuse for the Dark Phoenix to come out,
except for the finding the excuse for the Dark Phoenix to come out.
Finding the Dark Phoenix to come out and fill the book with like classic X-Men 1v1s. It's like, oh, you got a weird power. How can I use my power to circumvent your weird power? Well, you absorb energy. I'm going to shoot the floor below you. You're going to fall into the ground.
Yeah.
Or
absorbing energy is a cool power.
Orson Welles, you can make me very heavy. I'm going to fall on you, Orson Welles, and and that'll be that, I guess.
Yes.
So through the whole thing, it is what brings out the Dark Phoenix is when Cyclops and Mastermind have the
Jason Wingard.
Jason Wingard, everyone's very memorable, very favorite Marvel villain.
They have a duel. They have a sword duel on the astral plane.
Right. And so it is when Cyclops, quote unquote, loses that psychic battle that breaks Jean. Basically, all her inhibitions are gone, and she just goes full beast mode, Dark Phoenix. She destroys him.
Because of love.
Is that what it is?
I just fucking am so fucking sick of that crappy excuse, like, because of love. Love made it possible.
Well,
like,
love made her turn evil. It's not like it helped things.
It did. It helped free the X-Men.
Well, it freed the Dark Phoenix, who then went on to murder 5 billion people.
Fine. Except for that planet of gill monsters. They didn't fare so well.
And
but
the ship of the
Shi'ar. Fine.
It is right after that, just to sort of back up and explain, that busts out the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix is finally official. Phoenix sort of like just like clowns on the X-Men like
in Central
immediately
Park.
in Central Park. She turned a tree to gold because that's something the Phoenix can do that I was not super aware of at the time.
She can do just anything.
She can just do anything.
She has alchemy powers.
Yeah.
And she zooms off into space, and she's just like having a great time. She's like, I'm actually hungry. Yeah. I'm gonna eat the sun.
Yeah.
And then the sun blows up and destroys a planet like full of like
5 billion people.
5 billion people.
5 billion living organisms.
Right. It's like a filler.
They really make a point of being like they're peace loving. They're like a good society.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I'm biased because I only know about one planet, but a whole planet being peace loving, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I bet there's some people who didn't like peace.
It's a different race. You know what I mean?
Some people don't like peace there. Not everyone likes peace.
It does remind me of that filler episode. I'm going to bring up Dragon Ball Z again, where Vegeta just murders a planet and is never brought up again.
It is brought up again here, though.
Yes, it is.
It's an important.
It does have lasting consequences, and that is something that I read was sort of a deal behind the scenes because they wanted this story to continue. Oh, Phoenix just kind of casually kills a planet, and no one on Earth is aware of it at first. But when she kills a planet, and then she is later has a battle with Professor X, and who Professor X kind of like seals off the Phoenix.
He beats the Phoenix in the. This is the craziest thing about the Dark Phoenix is like the Dark Phoenix is there for 2 issues. That's it.
Yeah.
2 issues,
and then
it's
done. Just like zoop.
And Professor X battles the Dark Phoenix in the astral plane or whatever, and we don't even actually see the battle. We're just told Professor X won.
Yeah,
we see some flashes of light or something.
He put it in a Ziploc essentially.
Yeah, but it just I took care of that Dark Phoenix thing. It's good. Don't worry.
It's good now, and Jean's back, and everything's fine.
Back.
Now let's head back to Westchester.
Yeah, now let's go back to Westchester after this cosmic battle.
And everyone's happy. Jean is back, but it's wild that at the time, like what the writers initially wanted to do was like, oh yeah, it wasn't really Jean, it was the Dark Phoenix.
And she was possessed.
She was possessed. But like 5 billion people still died, and everyone else in the cosmic side of Marvel universe is like, hey, what the hell?
It's really not cool, guys.
The way they write it, it does seem like the Phoenix is kind of maybe a reflection of part of Jean's personality, that maybe she's like become one with this entity as opposed to just purely being its like vessel.
She does talk about, she's like, I like the power and the feeling, which like I've never tasted a sun.
Yeah, it probably is pretty good.
I would like some sun snacks.
I've had a Capri Sun, and those are pretty good.
Ooh,
so I can only imagine just a sun would be great. Great stuff.
Yeah. A nice
then you turn into
nice
Silver
hot
Surfer.
Capri Sun.
Yeah.
If you drink a Capri Sun.
Yeah, he was like, oh, my equal is out there. And then we never see from him again.
Oh, yeah, Silver Surfer. I was just referencing that, like, the old ads. But Silver Surfer is like, oh, shit.
Well, yeah, when the Dark Phoenix pops off, you see a few people around the Marvel Universe going like, wait, did something just happen? So it's like Silver Surfer going like, oh, well, what was that? Spider-Man's going like, oh. And Doctor Strange is like, oh, I feel great evil. But what does this mean for me?
Yeah. Little self-involved
there,
there,
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Kind of narcissistic.
I love that. This makes me want to go back and read the Doctor Strange comics that were happening around this time, just to be like, what did happen for him?
Some weird cosmic
some
stuff.
magic shit, probably.
Yeah, probably. He's fine.
He's fine. Everyone's fine. It's comics. Everyone's fine.
It's true.
It is fine, and then everyone is suddenly teleported to an alien planet where the Shi'ar, Kree, and the Skrulls all agree, hey, Dark Phoenix needs to die.
Yeah.
We
you
need
blew
to
up a planet.
We need to kill Jean Grey. We don't care that she's better now, quote unquote. We're gonna
because they're right too. Is like you just kind of like tamped it down again. It already came out once. Why wouldn't it come out again?
Right. This has happened twice already.
Yeah.
So why now again?
Yeah. So they settle on having like an honorable alien death battle.
Oh,
on the moon.
On the blue area of the moon where you can breathe.
That was the Shi'ar. Such an advanced society. They have incredible space travel. They're like kind of galactic peacekeepers. And then they're like, oh, we still can settle things by like combat.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think they maybe settled on that because they knew they could win. Because they beat
why would they even have that? Not great trial lawyers. Like why you can invent like faster than light speed travel, but you can't like get a working legal system in place?
I mean, no.
Have you seen their hair? Like
their
Gladiator's hair
feathers,
is great.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's the thing is like X-Men don't stand a chance
upsetting.
because their hair is so good. All the hair, Lilandra's hair, metal, just metal hair.
Maybe
Gladiator's hair.
Maybe that's why Professor X was so in love with her
because
he was
jealous.
like, because he's like, oh, you've got great hair.
That's true.
So eventually,
that makes a lot of sense.
The X-Men get beat down, and that basically brings the Dark Phoenix out. And Professor X is like, "Hey, kill Jean Grey. I decided.
You guys gotta do it.
You guys gotta do it.
Sorry
Please do. I'm sorry, I haven't done anything this whole story except for harm Jean Grey and be bad
and be a weird dick to Cyclops.
Yeah, basically, he's maybe jealous.
He should have also made out with Jean Grey. Just to stick it into Cyclops.
Yeah, fuck you, Cyclops.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Because everyone should have made out with Jean Grey except Cyclops.
Okay. I can get behind that. Like, that's problematic in a lot of ways.
There is like the creepy thing where he used to be in love with Jean Grey.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was mentioning.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is weird.
He was like kind of like eyeing her when she was like 15 or something.
They also bring up the weird thing where like Kitty Pryde is super into Colossus, even though she's 13 years old.
Well,
and then they become an item later.
I know.
And
I like that it's love at first sight.
Was Colossus checking this 13-year-old out?
Strapping young lad.
Colossus is older though.
Oh yes.
I think he's like a teenager.
No, he's young.
Is he?
I think he's in the book. He's probably
he's
a teenager.
Like 17 or something.
In Russia, 17 is like 40 years old.
So in Russia, 17 is you. What?
Yes.
Sure. Perfect. I love it. So this is the part of the story where Jean Grey decides to just basically kill herself.
Yeah, she killed herself.
Yeah, instead of like, it's what the Watcher, he comes on and does one of his long soliloquies of saying she would rather, die as a human
Die a hero
than live as a god,
Yeah.
I think.
I love Uatu the Watcher. And this might have been my first introduction to him when I first read this comic and just being like, what the fuck? I just thought it was so cool. Like there's a giant, he's got a huge head.
Got a very large
he's
head.
a space baby.
He's a giant space baby with a cool cape.
The best
And he's
part
always
about-
watching.
The best part about him is he's not just like this figure who is just like unchanging and immortal and just exists. He has a house. He has like a residential life that he has to keep.
Kick-ass
He's like,
space
oh, I
house.
gotta go home and like sleep from all that watching. Oh man, like it just I just always pictured him as like this sentinel kind of thing.
Yeah.
just standing there always watching. But like he's gotta make food and poop and stuff probably.
Sure.
It's weird that like on the Watcher, I'm seeing everything. Also, I have like 8 hours of sleep I need to get, so
So can like nothing happen for the next 8 hours?
Yeah.
Can you guys just chill it?
I understand it's the middle of the day in many parts of the universe. I just can't do it.
He has one of those baby cameras going at night.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Baby
recording it if
monitor.
anything happens.
Yeah.
It's not great footage though, so hopefully nothing important.
No, that's fair. So that more or less wraps up the story.
And that's the Dark Phoenix. And
That's the
then
Dark Phoenix.
That's it.
Yeah, that is kind of it. Like they weren't gonna kill her at first, but like they kind of like Marvel editorial teams like kind of went back and forth, and bluffs were called, and she died.
Luckily, then we got Madeline Pryor.
Classic.
We got Madeline Pryor.
I
and
forbid us from talking about Madeline Pryor.
Madeline
Why?
Pryor.
Mastermind comes back. It's a whole thing. Like
Yeah.
later on,
And then Jean Grey comes back, and Scott abandons his wife and child to go hang out with his girlfriend again.
Yeah.
that is, as this all happens, Cyclops is a cuck.
The cuck becomes
You know, I used to
the
like Cyclops a lot just because, like,
cuckold.
what?
The cuck becomes the cucker.
Okay,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
I
That's-
agree.
That's him
it
getting
all
back.
had all happened.
Yeah.
So before we before we go here, I do want to hit on our panel picks for this week. Each week we like to just sort of like pick a favorite moment or sequence that sort of spoke to us personally, or tells us, sort of encapsulates how we feel about the book as a whole. I picked just a really cool moment of Wolverine in the sewers looking up, and it's like one of those splash pages that's like, next week, look at this cool shit that's about to happen. It's Wolverine in a sewer. His feet are stinky, but he's pissed.
Oh, Wolverine probably smelled so terrible that whole time.
Wolverine is the hairiest he's ever been
Oh,
in this book.
So hairy.
I
And
love
they-
his squishy
All
face.
that's sticking to him.
It's good.
And they
Yeah.
also, when Kitty Pryde first sees him, they make a point of Kitty Pryde being like, "Oh God, who's this guy? Like he's
Yeah.
got weird vibes."
Well, look
which
at his
they
hair.
which they totally lose like in so much of
Yeah.
like in the later comics.
Yeah.
Wolverine's just like a normal guy, and
He's
they
Hugh
kind of make
Jackman.
him they make him like kind of an everyman, and that sucks because like having like a fucking brawny like short ass
Yeah.
like 5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
This is Jack Danny DeVito.
He's
Yeah,
jacked,
just like a cut Danny
he's-
DeVito.
He's jacked Bob Hoskins. Is what he
Oh,
is.
that's okay. That also works.
I love all of it.
So we want to get to yours last because we're gonna save the best for last. Carolyn, what was your panel pick?
My panel pick was an amazing the Black Queen, a panel of the Black Queen, just looking so badass. I guess she's kind of broken out then of her Black Queen phase,
Yeah.
and she's like back to being the Phoenix
Yeah.
is kind of released, and she's just like fuck you. But I picked this panel specifically because I thought the shading
Yeah.
and the coloring was so cool.
Mhm.
And the colors to this book is Glennis Wine or Glennis Ween, which I think that was a married name and she went
Yeah.
back to a different name,
Yeah.
Glennis Oliver later. But I just thought that was really cool. Like she just did such an incredible job. And I think this is a really beautiful book. It's just like
Yeah.
classic. When you think of a comic book, this is it.
It's really cool because the colorist and the artist both work together because you can always tell without even looking at the words whether it's Jean or whether it's Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you can tell like she goes like in this panel she's going full like beast mode,
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, and you don't have to read to tell. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew,
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, this book is so like all these like older books are just like incredibly dense with explanation. Like everything is over explained. Everyone goes into way too much of their thoughts. But also, this includes like the narration and stuff.
Yeah.
And at one point, they are going to a suburb outside of Chicago to get a mutant.
In a modern comic book, that would just be a shot of Chicago, and it would just say Chicago.
No, it wouldn't, because they're not going to Chicago. The location A doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they are. But it is a suburb of Chicago. They're going to a suburb. They're not going to Chicago proper.
Okay.
So what do? They do a big shot of Chicago, which they're not going to. And I have to read this because it's incredible. I don't know how
The
phones
first
work.
dramatic reading on Canon City.
Okay. All right. Well, you can see what's happening here, Carolyn.
Sure.
Oh my God, this is like
Your
watching
phone
a
is
baby
very
try to
painful.
put your screen
whatever's
lock on. My
happening
God.
there.
How do you do screen lock?
I don't know.
All
I don't
right.
know
Well,
what you're
anyways,
doing. His phone,
Chicago,
just keeps
the
turning.
Windy City, celebrated in verse by Sandberg, in song by Sinatra, home of the world's tallest building, and, so they say, the best pizza, which is a lie.
Both of those things are no longer true.
No. 3 million plus people live in this sprawling, tough, passionate, old new metropolis. Our concern, however, is not with the city proper, but with one of its suburbs. So it's not even about Chicago. They go they talk about, Carl Sandburg and Frank Sinatra, and it doesn't matter. And later they go and talk about I'm going to drive it back to O'Hare Airport. They get so specific about Chicago, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't impact the story at all, and I love it.
Give it context. But a lot of the early X-Men, a lot of the early X-Men, any kind of character development or whatever was just replaced by nationality or locale,
Sure.
which I think we've talked about a little bit before on the show. But, that's it. They're just this is a place.
I also think that it's partly is especially back then, you get more quote unquote bang for your buck if there's more words on every panel.
Yeah, it takes a lot longer to read old comic books.
Yeah,
this one, it was a doozy.
And it's like a 9-issue arc, and it took quite a while.
Yeah.
3
to get
years
through.
to read.
That said, would you recommend this book to a casual X-Men fan?
Carolyn, you want to go first?
Oh, highly recommend. It's a seminal piece of X-Men history. It is problematic in the way that it deals with women and also people of color, which we didn't talk about Storm.
Yeah.
There's a
Storm
very
is
problematic panel dealing with Storm that I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't realize this the first time I read it, and now I do. So that's super not cool. But yeah, and now I've dug myself into a hole. But it's still a cool story.
Yes. I mean, kind of the thing you have to accept is that, literally every comic book you find, pretty much, before, maybe up until the present day, is probably pretty bad about women, pretty bad about race, for the most part.
Yes.
That's just kind of the way it is, and it sucks, but yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
It's something you just have to accept.
Yeah.
I have terrible news. This comic is almost 40 years old.
No, because that would mean I'm old, Tristan, and that's not possible. I'm 22 years old.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
We're all 22.
We already went over the fact that I'm a baby under this beard.
I am a Twitch streamer now.
Oh,
I play
okay.
Fortnite.
Oh, yeah?
My name is...
I don't know if that's what you want to say.
I'm a cool young man.
Cool young man who doesn't ever say anything terrible or racist.
I'm one of the good ones. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm one of those not racist ones.
One of the good ones.
Yeah. I'm the not racist one. That's my. I'm not racist ninja. That's my name.
Yeah. None of what you said is loaded whatsoever. No. So I appreciate that.
No. The book is good. It's good. The art is good. It's fun in that weird 70s 80s way the comics work. My favorite comic is Squadron Supreme from the 80s, which is exactly like this, which is just overloaded with text and explanation and weird characters that don't really make a difference and is not necessary. Sure. But it's fun. It's a fun X-Men story. There's lots of fun battles, and it gives context to the biggest storyline they have.
Sure.
So I say it's good.
I do think it holds up much better than even a comic by Chris Claremont 10 years later, which is the big X-Men #1 by Claremont and Jim Lee.
Yeah.
And that stuff is very jam-packed and very overloaded, and the focus on splash pages and bodies and physiques in the 90s is a little much. But right here we had a really sweet spot. John Byrne is really good, as you said. The colors is great as well, and it is different to go back to. Like if you'd have to keep the context in mind. I would say, like, if you're interested in X-Men and like learning more about where they came from, this is a great way to do it because it's a classic story. It's got characters that you know. And
origin stories of huge characters.
Yeah.
Huge characters.
Yeah. The leader, team up. Who knew?
Oh man,
exactly.
Lots of Dazzler stories coming.
So yeah, if you were to read if it was a casual X-Men fan, that I would probably give them another like more modern book to read before this, like Astonishing X-Men, as much smoother read.
Yes.
Yeah,
that has
and
some
has
other,
all of these characters in it.
And has all these characters in it.
Does that have Cat Beast?
I think so.
That's right around the
that
time.
New X-Men with Grant Morrison.
Yeah, it's like right around that time when he gets his...
That would be another one that I would recommend also.
We should read that
this
on
is
this
a
show.
more...
Anything with Cat Beast.
Yes,
Cat
exactly.
Beast.
Meow.
But, when they... if and when they reboot Phoenix yet again in 10 years with Disney, this will be another interesting read because it'll be 50 years old by the time they make another movie. That's a tough
I'll
one.
be 23 years old by then.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You'll just,
also read this if you just want to watch Cyclops get cucked hard.
I mean, I'm always up for that.
He even got like the lamest Revolutionary War costume where he had that stupid hat and everything. It was great.
Oh boy.
Skip over those scenes. Skip over all those panels. Those are not good.
Yeah.
So that about does it for us today. Thank you all for joining me today and talking about the X-Men. Next week, or next time, I should say, we'll be reading the Swamp Thing, the Saga of the Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, Stephen Bissett, and John Totalben. That's a real wild ride from around the same era as well. So that should be interesting. Maybe we can compare Wolverine's hairy body to Swampy's swampy body.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Until then, we will see you in the Funny Papers. Hey everyone, if you like this, be sure to check out dropout.tv. It's by far the best way to support Dorkly.
You get shows like this a week early, as well as other awesome shows like Dimension 20, Troopers, and Actually.
Holy cow. You can get a free week trial for a whole week, and it's free on dropout.tv. It's the best way to support us, and we love you.
We do.
I like you a lot.